I'm riding for them hits and get it. Don't roll with no quitters. Grind like a loop first. Don't stop. Get it, get it. Get it, get it. Get it, get it. Grinding like a loop first. Don't stop. Get it, get it. Hold the porch, a young dog. Jet fuel taking off. Committed to it at all costs. Them hard times and jump so. No, it's life. Grab that bitch. Back to roll. Robbery. This world owe me now. Gotta hand the yoke no move. In your pockets doing what I wanna do. Nothing given, gotta take it. Pop said, and it's true. Had nothing, gave less preparedness for the test. Graduated from the bottom, A+ with the best. Yes, no degree, a PhD, and get it. Now I'm so sick with the mind grind, make you wanna vomit. Potholes in the wall still, kept control. Let the crows rolls with the devil, didn't sell my soul. Ride for the hits and get us, don't roll, no quitters. Grind like a loop first, don't stop, get it, get it. Get it, get it, get it, get it, grinding like a loop first, don't stop, get it, ride for the hits and get us, don't roll with no quitters, grinding like a loop first, don't stop, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, grinding like a loop first, don't stop, get it, running on that treadmill will get you nothing so for real, stepping off from solid ground, hitting the land to get my meal, beastin', plotting on these gluttons while they feastin', getting is my religion like a reverend or a deacon, motivation, elevation's all that I'm speaking, too many weekdays left your system weekend, I'm strong on insane, like when I had to hustle for it, grinding was important, you hustling for some Jordans, my feet planted firm, solid in the streets, the end game is elevate my status by degrees, black intellect on deck, no respect, saw the writing on the wall, drop the bricks to get a check, transition, my position, they ain't listen, fucking with them feds, have you shift off missing, ain't no time to play with systems, minds, too expensive, grown man shit, I'm on it, never be a victim, I'm riding for the hits and get it, don't roll, no quitters, grind like a loop first, don't stop, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, grinding like a loop first, don't stop, get it, ride for the hits and get it, don't roll with no quitters, grinding like a loop first, don't stop, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, grinding like a loop first, don't stop, get it, show me 10 kingpins, I show you 9 snitches, the code didn't mean shit when they lost some riches, a G, that. What's going on, Elevation Nation? God Body Sean, Elevation Nation Conversations, episode 4, September 9th, 2023. What's good? Hit that like, share, subscribe button, tap in. It's called, I heard one of my man say this, it's called, you know, you wipe your feet off before you come to somebody's house. So I call that wiping your feet before you come to my house. You know, it's the YouTube thing, and, you know, so the way you wipe your feet when you come off in the house is to hit that like, share, subscribe button. You dig? What you know about that? That's the catchphrase. That's the word. I was on I was on YouTube for about the past week or so, and just just strolling YouTube, see what folks out there talking about, see what's going on, and a lot of folks is talking about this guy named Bimmy. I don't know if a lot of y'all know of him or know about him, but he an older cat, in the game, whatever. He's from New York, I think the Queens area, and he was in the street game and all this and all that, and now he in music. But he went and did some jail time, and when he got out, he got into the music game. So I guess he was like doing some A&R. He was doing like some A&R work and things like that for Def Jam, and I think he like Waka Flocka Uncle and stuff like that. But just recently, they a lot of information and some paperwork that came out saying that he was a confidential informant. I guess he's supposed to be solid or whatever. I don't know. I don't know nothing about him, never met him or any of that, but I'm just speaking on the topic that was on YouTube. But he was supposed to be a solid cat and, did his time and, ain't snitch or ain't telling nobody, nothing like that. But,
a lot of guys now, they got some paperwork coming out saying that he was doing this and he was snitching and ratting and telling and all that. So that's brought the topic up of snitches and rats in the industry and in the streets. And you know, is it a code, or you know, they not supposed to be doing this and doing that, and they, you know, they saying what they are and what they ain't and all that. So I just found it funny. I just found it funny, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, I'm from Chicago. I was in the streets a little bit, you know. I wasn't no major dope dealer and all that, no major kingpin. So I'm definitely not gonna sit in and tell no lie like that. But I was in the streets, you know, and I was, you know, doing some little shit. I had family that was in the streets, a lot of uncles. I had, let me see, 1, 2, 3. I had about 5 uncles, you know, that was in the streets, that was doing some things in Chicago. You know, they were doing, you know, ripping and running, and they was connected and plugged or whatever. And it was me, it was about 6 of us as far as cousins, you know, as, you know, men, you know, younger days, whatever, in the streets as well, doing our thing in the drug game, whatever, man, selling, you know, dumb shit. But, you know, it's all we had access to at that time, because it was not no job market or no economy in Chicago to be going out getting a job and making any money where you can feed your family and, you know, support yourself. And, you know, shit, we coming from nothing. You know, we coming from basically poor families. We were like second generation born in Chicago, so all our ancestors and things like that was from the South. So, you know, they coming up to Chicago, you know, trying to make a way, and shit, it's poverty, you know, point blank, you know, plain and simple. We know the shit wasn't right, you know, we know it wasn't, you know, cool or whatever, but it was poverty, and it was the easiest thing that we had access to make money, was selling, you know, heroin and cocaine and weed and all of that shit. So, you know, that's what some of my family was partaking in and doing. And, you know, I played a part in that. Not proud of it at all. You know, definitely not bragging on it. Definitely not a highlight of my life or whatever, but it is what it is. But it was always a thing, you know, when we was hustling and stuff like that, you know, about the no snitching. You know what you're doing. You know what you signed up for. You know, you out of hustling, so you know what comes with it. And you gotta take your lumps like a man. Or, you know, so they say, or so they think. And the thing that's going around on the internet thing is about all, you know, there's snitches out here, snitches in the streets, you know, snitches in hip hop, and who, you know, they shouldn't be doing this and shouldn't be doing that. And I was just laughing at it. Cause I'm looking at it and thinking back, I knew when I was in the streets, man, these motherfuckers would tail on your ass. They don't give a fuck. You know, it's all fair game out there. So I ain't never looked at myself and said, you know, my man wouldn't possibly snitch on me or tail on me if he had the chance, or to get himself out of trouble and all that. So I knew what the fuck it was. That's why I knew when it was time to get out them fucking streets and do something else. Just real talk. I wasn't looking at this as this was no retirement plan. I was not in the drug game to get rich. I knew I wasn't gonna get rich. I knew the streets was a myth. I knew all this shit was a lie. I knew wasn't nothing good coming out of it. Period. I wasn't even gonna fool myself and say or think that you know, that this shit was gonna lead anywhere. Nah, not at all. I wasn't that damn dumb or that naive to even think that. So I just find it funny that everybody's online talking about, you know, this guy snitched and that guy snitched and this rapper snitched and all that, and they acting like they don't believe that they would do that, or, you know, it's such a big ass surprise to them. Hell no. I knew what the fuck was going on. I knew, you know, any of these motherfuckers would snitch, you know, shit, even some of your family members, if they're in a predicament and they're in a situation, man, I hate to say it, but I don't know. You don't know what somebody do, man, when they faced with that jail time and going to jail and, you know, being locked up, man, shit, they might tell on your ass. Period. You don't know. So I never was fooling myself thinking that the streets was real, or you know, the game wasn't rigged, or you know, shit like that. I wasn't even finna fool myself into thinking like that. But and I was looking at some of the other YouTube, you know, broadcasts and posting. The game full of fucking rats and snitches and tricks, man. Since the fucking beginning of time. Since the beginning of fucking time, it's all been full of snitches and rats and backstabbers. But they say ain't no honor amongst thieves. That's true. That's true as shit. Ain't no honor amongst thieves. Period. You know, I've seen a lot of documentaries and you know, on TV and YouTube and all that. Man, these cats will snitch your ass out if they can get up out of going to prison or knock some jail time off or something like that. Man, they would tell on your ass. They would tell on your ass. You better believe it. The streets is a myth. They've been a myth. Ain't nothing been real about the streets. Only thing real about the streets is you can get your ass killed or locked up. That record that I was playing in the beginning of the live stream is a record I did 12 years ago. It's called FEDS, FEDS. And the acronym stood for fuck entering the system. FEDS, fuck entering the system, entering, you know, the system. And I was basically saying in the record, show me 10 kingpins, I show you 9 snitches. The code didn't mean shit when it came to them riches. Now, I'm gonna say that again. I said it in the record. I said, show me 10 kingpins, I show you 9 snitches. The code don't mean shit when it came to them riches. And that's just real fucking talk. Them niggas will snitch on your ass. It's been snitches shit in the mob from day one, man. We've had presidents that were snitches and all of that, man. There was a movie, that movie that Denzel Washington did. It was called American Gangsters, and he was playing a drug dealer in Harlem named Nicky Barnes. I think, yeah, Nicky Barnes. Shit, that whole movie was about him being a fucking snitch when it came down to it. At the end of the fucking day, at the end of the movie or whatever, Nicky Barnes was snitching. You did? No, I'm sorry. American Gangsters was about Frank Lucas. Let me correct that. American Gangsters was about Frank Lucas. But at the end of that damn movie, he wound up snitching. He wound up snitching and telling. And he even wrote a book about it. When he got out of jail, they got some interviews that was online where he was doing interviews and things like that. And shit, these be some of the most gangsters motherfuckers, man, solid cats. And when it came down to it, they wanted to knock some of that time off that sentence. They was snitching. They was ratting. They didn't give a fuck about the code of the game. There was a mob dude, a dude that was with the mob. He was like a enforcer or a killer, you know, like a hitman. His name was Sammy the Bull. This motherfucker was snitching. He snitching. He on TV testifying at Congress, you know, for Congress or whatever, talking about the mob and how they do what they do and what's going on and how many murders he partook in. Snitching. He don't give a fuck. Matter of fact, I think he might be on YouTube talking about all the snitching he did and you know what happened. And he making money on the YouTube talking about his life after the mob and how he was snitching and shit like that. He on YouTube telling his story right now, getting paid, getting money. There was another dude in the New York mob named Whitey Bulger, old cat. He recently got locked up, you know, I don't know, maybe 8, 9 years ago, something like that. I think he might be dead now, or he got killed when he went to prison. But he was a fucking snitch. He was working with the FBI. They say shit for damn near 20-some years. They got a movie out about his ass, Whitey Bulger. I think Johnny Depp played him. Shit, he was a fucking snitch, a rat. 25 years. So that street code shit is a myth. All that loyalty and all that shit don't mean nothing. when they ass get caught up and they trying to get about that prison system and they ain't trying to go to jail and they miss being out here freedom, eating good food, shit, having bad chicks, moving around how they want to move around, they will fucking snitch. Hip hop is full of them. Hip hop is fucking full of them. Full of them. I wouldn't even doubt 50 Cent. I've seen some interviews with 50 Cent, man. 50 Cent talking like he a straight up conservative ass snitch or a rat right now. 50 got that money, man. I think 50 a tell. Shit, 50 say, man, I'm not finna lose what I got going on trying to be real to this game or be a fucking gangster or something like that. 50 say, I'm a businessman. You dig? And, I don't blame him. That's why I've always said, if I was ever doing some dirt or some illegal activities, I'm doing it by myself. I'm doing it by my damn self. I know somebody a snitch. I'm not putting my freedom in nobody's hands. I'm not. Them cats a tell. Streets is a straight myth. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. We're trying to get the subscribers up, trying to get the views up. We're gonna keep building and growing Elevation Nation conversations. We're gonna get the technology up. We're gonna get some mics up in here. And start doing some interviews and things like that with interesting people. But there was another guy. There was a cat. I saw a documentary on him. He was in DC. I think this was like he was back in like the late 80s, maybe early 90s. His name was Rayful Edmonds. You can Google him. You can pull him up on YouTube. His name was Rayful Edmonds. He was in DC. He was supposed to be like one of the biggest, dope dealers, cocaine distributors, in DC for a while. He had a lot going on, and he got caught up. They got interviews with him on YouTube. He a street nigga. He a street dude. He abiding by the codes and abiding by the street ethics and all that. He was doing major weight. This nigga got caught up. He snitched. He said the feds told him that if he ain't cooperate with them or start giving them some information they can use, they gonna lock his mama up and lock his sister up and family members and all that shit. Man, he said, look, fuck y'all, I gotta do what's best for me, man. He started snitching. He was going so hard with it. He was in jail, setting up drug deals with it for his mans them on the streets, and he's setting them up while he locked up in the feds, snitching. I think he might even be out right now. I don't know. You could do some research on it and check into it, but he on the streets right now. Hold on, let me get some light up in there and cut this light on. You dig? Is that better? Can you see me better? Okay, we're looking a little dark, but yeah, Rayful Edmonds, man, Google him, pull him up. It was a hell of a documentary, man. Excellent documentary, and it was just more confirmation of me thinking in my head, fuck. I ain't no Einstein, or I ain't no super intelligent, smart dude, but I did understand and know when I was in the game that the game don't love you. Fuck that shit. These niggas would snitch. Let me see who else. That was Nicky Barnes. Nicky Barnes, he was a famous dude. I think they might got a movie about him. I'm not sure. But I know he was on the cover of Time magazine. And when he got caught up, he started snitching because one of his homeboys that he was doing shit with started fucking his chick. So he locked up. He mad because his homeboy dealing with his chick. And he started snitching. And he said this. He said this on record. He said, yeah, I started snitching because his homeboy broke the code or broke the law and started dealing with one of his women. So he started snitching. Took all his homeboys down. And I think it was in the 80s. He testified in front of Congress as well. He had on a black, you can Google it and pull it up, but he had on a black, like a black hoodie or something like that, like a damn near KKK hat or whatever. But yeah, he had on a black hat, snitching in front of Congress. Nicky Barnes, no relation to me. No relation to me. My name's Sean Barnes. No relation to me. Fuck no. But yeah, Nicky Barnes was snitching. Shit. They say, I don't know how true it is, but one of them BMF dudes, well, a lot of them BMF motherfuckers were snitching. You can catch it on YouTube. A lot of the cats that was in BMF, once they got that time, they started talking, trying to get up out of that damn, that prison. Who else? This is an old time gangster. His name was Henry Hill. He was working with the FBI for 25 years, snitching, ratting. The streets is a myth, man. Don't believe none of what these rappers saying or all these so-called gangsters and all that, and hardcore motherfuckers, man. Damn near all of them snitching. 99% of them snitching. So the streets is a myth, man. Y'all can get off this YouTube thing or get off this thing where y'all saying y'all being surprised or saying some of these dudes not sticking to the street code or they ain't gangster, they ain't holding it up or none of that. Man, that shit don't fly. It don't hold no weight. They want to be on the streets. They want to be back out here ripping and running, eating good, living good, dealing with chicks and all that. So they would tell on your ass in a minute. They snitching. Even, hold on. Al Sharpton. Yeah. Good old Al Sharpton with the perm. Yeah. They be marching and shit, going against the government and, fighting inequalities and white supremacy, what's going on or whatever. Yeah, Al Sharpton be working with them people. Yup. You can Google that and pull it up. Al Sharpton is working with them people. Yeah. And he been working with people for a while, like 20-some years. There was let me see. There was a photographer. I think he was, hold on, let me see, let me Google it. It was a photographer. He was with the black, with Martin Luther King movement. He was like doing a lot of the documenting of the what they call it. I'm sorry. He was doing a lot of documenting of the civil rights movement. That's it. He was doing a lot of documenting of the civil rights movement and shit. He was working with the FBI and informant. He was sending photos and information and all that shit to the FBI about Dr. King and all that. So yeah. Let me see. Let me try to pull his name up. Google is your best friend, man. I ain't saying all this shit on here is true, but you can find a lot out with Google. You can find a lot out with Google. It's all on there. Yeah, that's his name, Ernest Withers. You can Google him, Ernest Withers. He was a famous photographer, catching a lot of those iconic pictures that you will see of the movement and civil rights and Martin Luther King and all that. He was working with the FBI, giving them pictures and information and shit like that. Ernest Withers. Yup. He was working with the FBI. Facts. Let me see. Who else? Man, I can't think of his name, but the movie Judas and the Black Messiah. That was about, and it was a lot of, some Black Panther brothers that was working with the FBI and shit like that. It was a famous Korean or Asian when they called him the Yellow Panther or some shit like that. They should have known he was fucking snitching and tricking. What the fuck is you in the Black Panthers movement for? You fucking Asian. Like, I'd have been like, nah, homeboy, we don't need your help right now. You go over there. You know what I'm saying? Well, nah, he was up in that snitching. They called him the Yellow Panther. I think it was called the Yellow Panther. He was working with the FBI and snitching. But that movie, Judas and the Black Messiah, that's how man, I can't think of his name. It's on the tip of my tongue. But he's a young brother, man. And he was murdered by the police because his chief of security set him up and was giving information to the police about like what house he was being staying in. He gave them the layout of the house and things like that. Let me go, and I feel bad for not knowing his name, but let me Google his name. He was with the Black Panthers in Chicago. Fred Hampton. That's his name, Fred Hampton. He was murdered because his head of security was working with the FBI and was being an informant. So why should the fuck you around, man? Who you be around? Especially if you're doing some illegal shit. Nah. So we just chopping it up. Elevation Nation Conversations, talking about what's been going on YouTube with everybody talking about rats and everybody snitching and informants and all of that. So hit that like, share, subscribe button. I appreciate it. But the game has been a myth. The streets been a myth. The game wasn't never real. The streets wasn't never real. So we can stop all that talk. The streets been full of rats and backstabbers and snitches and all that shit. I was saying it in the record. Let me see. Let me pull it up again. We'll play a little bit of it. I say, we'll see. We'll listen to it and check it out. Let's see.
First, don't stop, get it, grinding like a loon. First, don't stop, get it, show me 10 kingpins, I show you 9 snitches. The code didn't mean shit when they lost some riches. A chief, that's the one that got it.
They go the part right there. I've been ahead of the fucking game. I knew what it was, man. Please, I've been talking about this for years. I say, show me 10 kingpins, I show you 9 snitches. The code didn't mean shit when it came to riches. Stay out them streets, man. The streets is a myth. Walt Disney. Yeah, the old school dude. Walt Disney that owned Walt Disney, Disneyland, and all of that. He was working with the FBI and working with, informants. But what he was doing was he would give the CIA and the FBI movies before they got released to the public. And I've always heard this, about the movie industry, that a lot of the movies, man, sometimes CIA be doing and FBI be doing propaganda through the movie industry, putting out messages and information and misinformation and things like that. Or if the movies is telling too much or doing too much, they'll tell the directors and people like that, nah, you can't put this in, or you gotta take that out. You gotta edit this. So, but Walt Disney, he would give the FBI and the CIA the movies before they came out, and they would look at them and things like that, and they would tell them, you gotta take this out, you gotta take this out, things like that. So shit, Walt Disney, Ronald Reagan, former President Ronald Reagan. He was he's a fucking president, so he got to tell the FBI and be with that. But before that, he was an actor, so he was like I think like the head of the Screen Actors Guild or something like that. And he would. This was back in the days, with the whole communist scare, and everybody was calling each other communist sympathizer and thinking they was, working with the Communist Party and stuff like that. So he was snitching and tricking on his fellow actors and actresses and shit. If he thought they was, sympathizing with the Communist Party or feeling being communist, he was telling on them. He was telling on them shit. And I knew. I mean, just listen to the rap music, man. Listen to these rappers, man. They telling on themselves. The drill music. And I hate to talk, say like, these young brothers, man, they need some guidance. They, I guess they didn't know no better, or the drugs had them fucked up, or they trying to, trying to make a way for themselves and sell records and this and that. They end up telling on their damn self. King Von, them, man. You got some young cats in Florida. I can't even think of their names because I don't follow it like that. But man, they out there doing shit, and then they'll put it in a record. Smoking on Tuka and all this shit, and I smoked, y'all, this is my op, and they literally telling that shit in the records about what they did, how they did it, and leaving little clues and hints and all that. Man, FBI listening right there to them records, man, taking all that shit in. Then locking them up. So, streets been a myth. All bullshit aside, man, streets ain't never been real. Stay out them streets, man. Streets been dead. Just from my standpoint, I'm not no young spring chicken, but I'm still not no old cat like that. But I knew the streets was dead when I was in the streets. But like 95, 96, 97, all that, man, I knew the streets are dead. I'm seeing it while I'm in it. Cats that's in my same gang affiliation, man, telling on each other, smoking each other, man, killing each other, man. No, they was snitching. No, they was telling. You know it. I knew the game was done. That's why I exited. I exited stage left. Well, back in like 99. That's when I started doing music and all that. And I was never talking about nothing up in my records about I done sold this dope or did this and did that. Hell no, I knew. I'm thinking like, man, I'm not finna get on record talking about none of that shit, man. I'm out the streets. I'm finna make records and do shit where I'm trying to talk about elevating. Elevation Nation. You see the tag? I'm trying to elevate, get away from these streets, get some legit money, get some real paper. I'm trying to live good, make good money, move around. Freedom, man. Freedom ain't no fucking joke, man. And stop playing. Please, I'm telling this to all my young cats, man, all my young brothers, man. Them streets is not a game. Stay the fuck out them streets, man. It's 2023. There's many ways of getting real, legit money without fucking with them streets. It's actually probably easier because you got access right here in your hand. You got a phone in your hand where you can get money. Super easy. Streets is hard, man. Everybody telling. You got cameras everywhere. You can't do nothing without everything being seen. Man, please stop playing. Streets is a joke. Streets is a damn myth. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. Drop some comments. Elevation Nation Conversations, just a topic talking about the streets is a myth. It's been full of rats and snitches. They got movies about it. But I know you can't, you can't, you got to say allegedly. So let me say allegedly, man, catch like 50 Cent is allegedly a snitch. T.I. is allegedly a snitch. Shit. We know 6ix9ine is a snitch. Who else? That dude Gunner is allegedly a snitch. Man, please. Streets is a myth. Stay away from the streets. Ain't nothing going on in the streets, man, but some death and some telling. Ain't nothing going on but some death and some telling. So I just wanted to tap in with y'all and put my little 2 cents in on it. little topic they've been talking about on YouTube with all the ratting and the snitching and the industry and all that. You know, DJ Vlad, the dude from Vlad TV, he helping motherfuckers snitch on theyself. Vlad will let these cats get on there, get on camera, and he started asking them questions. And these dumbasses, they want to be so popular, and when they want to seem so gangster and act like they've been doing so much and talk like they this and that, they telling them they damn self on camera. And all Vlad got to do is give the video and the audio over to the FBI and all of that. Man, these niggas is telling on themselves, and Vlad is helping them. So Vlad is a snitch and a rat too, you know. But you can't blame them; they doing what they do. You know, I blame the guys that if you're out there doing it, man, shut the fuck up. Or you know what you was doing, you knew the consequences when you got in it. You know what could come of it. You know what could happen. Shut up. Or do your dirt by your damn self. So you know if you get caught up. Ain't nobody telling but you. You know, so streets is a myth. Streets been a myth. Stay out the streets. Get you some money. You know, legit. Start do some businesses. Paperwork. Learn how to do some paperwork, man. Get you an LLC, man. Get you a company. Get you some credit. It's easy. It's easy. Once you start reading and just see how easy this shit is, man. Get you some money. You dig? So shit, we out on that one. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. We're gonna tap out with the record feds, FEDS. Fuck entering the system. Fuck going in that system, man. Fuck the streets. The streets is a myth. It's full of rats, snakes, backstabbers, and it's full of a lot of niggas that ain't solid. These niggas ain't really gangster. I'm out.
Bunch of young dogs, jet fuel taking off, committed to it all, cause them hard times and jump so. I'm riding for them hits and get it, don't roll with no quitters, grind like a loop first, don't stop, get it, grind like a loop first, don't stop, get it. Off the bunch of young dogs, jet fuel taking off, committed to it all, cause them hard times and jump so. No, it's like grab that bitch, back throw, robbery, this world hold me now, gotta handle your own move, in your pockets doing what I wanna do, nothing given, gotta take it, pop said it, and it's true, had nothing, gave less compared me, for the test, graduated from the bottom, A+ with the best, yes, no degree, a PhD, and get it, now I'm so sick, with the mind grind, make you wanna vomit, holes in the road still, kept control, let the cross rolls with the devil, didn't sell my soul, I'm riding for the hits and get it, don't roll, no quitters, grind like a loop first, don't stop, get it, grind like a loop first, don't stop, get it, ride for the hits and get it, don't roll, no quitters, grind like a loop first, don't stop, get it, grind like a loop first, don't stop, get it, running on that treadmill will get you nothing so for real, stepping off on solid ground, hitting the land to get my meal, I'm beastin', plotting on these gluttons while they feastin', getting is my religion like a reverend or a deacon, motivation, elevation's all that I'm speaking, too many weekdays left no system, weekend, I'm strong on it, same, like when I had to hustle for it, grind was important, you hustling for